Hello, Abraxas here, and we'll be playing some Universe Sandbox 2. So as you can see, I have our solar system loaded here, and I got a suggestion from, there it is, Nightwolf171. He gave me the suggestion to basically make a video of me throwing stars through our solar system. So I don't know where to exactly throw these. I'm thinking someplace between Saturn and Uranus, or Jupiter and Saturn, but some of the stars I'm going to throw might actually collide into these. So I'm thinking somewhere right here between Uranus and Saturn would be a good location. So basically just throw random stars through our solar system and see how much it actually skews our orbits. So one thing I do know is the sun is approximated like moving through the galaxy, rotating around the galaxy. I'll bring up the galaxy simulation real quick. Let's see. Okay, let's just use the galactic collision one. Okay, so let's say this is our Milky Way. Is this our Milky Way? No, that's Andromeda. This is our Milky Way. Okay, so here's the Milky Way. Our sun is somewhere on the outskirts, or the old outskirts of the Milky Way. The Milky Way has been discovered to basically be all the way out to here. But somewhere on the outskirts, somewhere like where this circle is. So this is where our sun, Sol, sits. It orbits around the Milky Way, spiraling around at a speed of 230 kilometers a second, I do believe. Last I knew. Something around that speed, which is translated to like 800,000 kilometers an hour or something like that. So very, very fast. So I'm thinking the variation, let's just go ahead and hit play and watch these two collide. I'm thinking the variation of like stars actually orbiting around, because they're not all going to move the exact same speed, would probably be somewhere around 50 to 60 kilometers a second. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw a star, let's say one that's possibly during a collision or just coming through. I want to say it's going to be moving about 60 kilometers a second. So let's go ahead and select launch, and let's just select a star like our very own sun. And let's change the speed to 60 kilometers per second. And let's go ahead and reduce time to hours. That way we aren't moving too fast. And let's just go ahead and launch our sun between Saturn and Uranus from this angle. Whoops. And there we go. There is our sun. So there it is, actually traveling through the Milky Way. Or not Milky Way, our solar system. It's going to be moving rather slow, but let's go ahead and speed up time a little bit. And now we're on a scale of months per second, so here it goes flying through. It's going to go right next to Saturn. It might actually pull Saturn with it. We'll see. And there it goes relatively fast. So this would be like, for example, if another galaxy collided into our galaxy and sent a yellow dwarf star, main sequence star, through our solar system, which is very, very unlikely, but here it goes. And it's just going to pass through, and let's see how much it skews the orbits. This is a star again, the same mass as our sun. It is the sun. And there it goes, just passing right through. Oh, look what happened to Saturn. Oh, wow. I imagine a lot of these orbits are going to turn eccentric. Well, definitely Saturn. Saturn doesn't look like it fared very well. It's probably going to cross orbits. No, it's actually not going to cross orbits with Uranus. But Saturn has a much greater mass than Uranus, so it might actually mess with it quite a bit. As you can see, let me just go ahead and pause this real quick. It pulled our sun. It actually made our sun go inwards towards where the star was actually flying through. So now the sun is actually moving this way. Probably a complete... Yeah, it actually pulled it upwards towards that star. And now it's going that way. It's probably going to curve around and kind of go downwards a little bit. But as you can see, Earth is completely different. It shifted Earth quite a bit. Let's go ahead and check it out. Yeah, more of North America is actually frozen over, so it's actually a lot colder here. But we'll see how this goes. Let's go ahead and resume the game and see what this settles out to. Okay, so Saturn was pulled downwards as it was pulled towards the star, so now it's in a kind of lower spiral. And its orbit's going to be a little bit weird if you can see the approximated line. Let's just go ahead and speed up time to something much greater and just see what's going on here. Yeah, these orbits are incredibly skewed. I don't think it pulled Pluto any closer, though. Where's Pluto at? I don't see Pluto anywhere. And there goes that sun, just taking off. Pluto. Oh wow, it actually did. It pulled Pluto kind of towards the inner solar system. Look at that, it just crossed orbits with Uranus. Let's just speed up time a little bit more and just see how these actually settle out. Yeah, look at Pluto down there. Very odd. Neptune is way out here, just kind of taking over Pluto's orbit. In fact, Neptune's actually dragging along with a couple of dwarf planets, it seems. They might actually become moons. Very eccentric moons, if anything. Ceres is actually in the inner solar system, I do believe. Let's go ahead and slow down the game so we can actually get a proper orbit map. So this is Jupiter's orbit. So actually no, Ceres actually orbits very close to Mars now. Look at that. And let's go ahead and check on our home planet, Earth. Okay, so Earth has actually warmed up quite a bit. It's actually a lot warmer than it is now, after the orbit is stabilized. Yeah, I think we're going to have more extreme summers and winters. You can see it fluctuates between 14 and... Okay, so yeah, we actually kind of have more extreme conditions here. Yeah, it's fluctuating between 12 and 16 degrees Celsius, it looks like now. Which is not too far off, but I guess we have very, very hot summers and some rather cold winters. I don't think that is too much different than what it is today, though. So we would be mostly unaffected if a star the size of the sun passed through at that angle through the Jupiter and Saturn. Or was it Saturn and Uranus? I believe that was Saturn and Uranus. Let's go ahead and check up on Mars, which I don't think is going to be much different. Okay, so here we go. We got Mars selected. That's its little polar cap, and it's sitting at negative 64 degrees, so I do believe that's actually a little bit colder. So not much has happened to our interterrestrial worlds. Earth has slightly different climate conditions. Some planets are orbiting a little bit closer to each other. Things like Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, and Neptune are going absolutely insane. And look at what happened to these poor dwarf planets. In fact, Neptune might have actually escaped the... Yeah, it actually looks like it reached escape velocity from the solar system, so we no longer have Neptune with us. In fact, if I speed up time, it should just go flying off, it looks like. Yep, Neptune's kind of going a completely different direction, along with a lot of our dwarf planets and asteroids in the Kuiper Belt. So lose a lot. Let's go ahead and load up a different solar system simulation that I have, which is one that only has named planets. What this will do is kind of improve performance a little bit. I'm going to keep most of the Kuiper Belt here, but let me get rid of like a lot of it. Let's just get rid of a lot of these rocks so I can actually speed up the simulation a little bit better. There we go. Now, again, between Uranus and Neptune, I'm actually going to throw a bigger star, which is going to be Polaris. Where is that? Where's Polaris? There's Polaris. Okay, so I'm going to throw a Polaris at a speed of 60 kilometers a second through Saturn and Uranus. So right there. And there it goes. A much bigger star. I don't think the mass is too much bigger than our sun. Actually, no, it's 4 times the mass of our sun. So this should have much more drastic effects. Let's go ahead and speed up time a little bit. We're currently moving at 20 days per second. And let's speed up time a little bit more. Okay, now we're moving 1 month per second, 1.4 months per second. And I could already see Saturn starting to climb in its orbit. The sun should definitely go off course from this. And there goes Polaris. You can see Jupiter is going up in orbit as well. And now it's going to drop in orbit like a roller coaster. Yep, you can just see that bend in those two orbits. Oh wow, look at that. There's an asteroid following it through. A lot of these asteroids from the Kuiper Belt. Oh, and the asteroid belt are just flying downwards now. There goes the sun, just went to a downward spiral. Oh, wow. Okay, so that had a much more drastic effect. It's still affecting it as well. Oh, wow, look at that. Everything's just skewed now. Pluto just kind of bent inwards, is going towards the inner solar system a little bit. And yeah, that had a much more drastic effect on our solar system. Let's go ahead and check out how Earth is doing. Ooh, that's not good. It's actually sitting at 40 degrees Celsius and massively fluctuating. So we no longer have polar caps, I don't believe. Let's go ahead and pause the simulation and let's go over to Earth. So yeah, we've had some major global warming, it looks like. We do have a bit of snow still in Antarctica, though. Probably not for long, since the sun is now kind of illuminating that part of the planet. Let's go ahead and hit play. So now we're tracking from Earth's perspective. And there goes Polaris, probably still having some kind of drastic effects on our solar system. So these orbits are all skewed now. Earth is orbiting very, very close to Venus. In fact, it crossed paths with Venus. So, not doing too great there. There goes passing through Venus's orbit again. Mars is orbiting a little bit more eccentric, not really consistent at all. It just crossed through both Venus's and Earth's orbit, though. Wow. Ceres is still between Jupiter and, well, Jupiter is not orbiting quite on our plane anymore. Neptune, Saturn, and Uranus might actually escape the system. It looks like that's what it's trying to do. So we might not have those three gas giants anymore. What about Neptune? Neptune might actually stay in orbit. Uranus looks like it's actually going to stay just very, very eccentric now. So if I speed up time, you can see a bunch of asteroids just fly off. We're going to do like a little S effect and start orbiting the sun this way. So a little bit backwards. And Pluto and all these dwarf planets look like they're gone. So I'm just going to clear those out real quick. All these excess objects. And let's just watch the main system. Appear to have stabilized a little bit. And our orbit is looking still a little bit eccentric, but actually a lot more round than it was a few years ago. Which, speaking of years, what is a year on Earth now? Okay, so rotational period is 23.9 hours. Orbital period. There it is. 365 days, so it's still a 365-day year. Very cool. So all in all, we do orbit closer to Venus, and the planet is a lot warmer, but no drastic or really detrimental effects on our planet. Of course, this would have a lot of climate issues, a lot of species and stuff would certainly go extinct, and we would have all sorts of problems related to that. But us as a human species may actually survive. So let's go ahead and run a new simulation. And now it's time to drop Uranus between Saturn and Uranus. So here we go. The biggest star that we know about. There's a problem with this. It's a big star. It might not even fit between these two. It might actually... This might not be good. So let's go ahead and throw it like right there. And yeah, I'm going to have to back that up a bit. Let's go ahead and reload this simulation. Okay, so backing it up a bit. A lot more. Okay. Let's toss Uranus between Saturn and Uranus. And here it goes. It's moving the same speed as the other stars. It's just such a larger body that it doesn't appear to move nearly as fast. Let's go ahead and speed up time a little bit. And here it goes. I have a feeling this is not going to be good for our solar system. This is about 8 masses of the sun, I do believe. 8.5. And let's just go ahead and track Earth. Let's pause the game real quick. Let's just select Earth and... Oh, wow, it's already cooked away. So we have no oceans. Earth is already destroyed. And it's about to go very, very molten, very, very fast. And there it goes. Right through our solar system. Look at that. So Earth went molten partially and then kind of cooled down. I assume the only life that's probably on the planet is subsurface life. Extremophiles. Things in caves. And I imagine Earth is not faring too well. But it's cooling back down. It's at 265 degrees Celsius. So very, very hot on the surface. But that's surface temperature. Maybe, just maybe, there is still life under the surface that has survived, that is insulated by our soils and other... Okay, our oceans are actually returning. So it didn't cook away too much of our oceans. It didn't really have the time to do that. Let's go ahead and slow down time and let's just track our Earth this time. Okay, here we go. And we did actually manage to hold on to most of our planets, it looks like. They're quite far orbiting now, but it does look like we're actually holding on to them. Of course, I think we're still in the influence of Uescatae. It's not gone yet. Okay, so we might lose Neptune, it looks like. All of our dwarf planets in the Kuiper Belt look like they're all gone. So let's go ahead and dump the Kuiper Belt so we can have some more performance. And let's just track our inner planets here. So let's go ahead and slow down time. And see how Earth is doing. I would assume Earth is probably our most important planet to us. So let's go ahead and check it out. 39 degrees Celsius, but it is cooling down. We have lost pretty much all surface life, it looks like. Actually, it does still appear to be a little bit green in the texture. You can see that there's still light being received from Uescatae down there. And yeah, things are not looking as vibrant and green as they were a while ago. Is there any ice? There is actually ice in Antarctica. So let's go ahead and zoom out and let's just speed up time and see what Earth actually stabilizes to. The orbital period is still 365 days though. That's very weird. I would imagine that would be skewed. Eccentricity is actually not that bad either. And it looks like it's stabilizing at about 35 degrees. 35 to 40 degrees. So that's actually not too far off as when Polaris actually went through our solar system. Thing up my sleeve here that I'm for sure will destroy the solar system. Okay, so we're going to throw it between Saturn and Uranus once again. And what I'm going to throw is something incredibly destructive. And here it is, Sagittarius A. If you don't know what Sagittarius A is, that is the black hole that sits in the center of the Milky Way galaxy, a supermassive black hole. And here goes Sagittarius A. Look at that. Oh, wow. What just made it fly backwards? Huh. That's very weird. Okay, let me redo the simulation at a slower speed. Because I know if you have the speed turned up too much, objects will not calculate properly in the simulation. So let's go ahead and throw it again. Right there. So here goes Sagittarius A. Yeah, it bounced upwards. I wonder why it's doing that. Very odd. Okay, I'll do this. I'll pause the simulation. I'll put 1m sun, so I believe this is equivalent to 1 sun in mass. I'll drop it between Saturn and Uranus once again. In that direction. And I'll change the... And let's change the mass to 1 Milky Way. Which will be Sagittarius A. And let's just see what happens. What is that line? Oh, okay. That was a dwarf planet. Probably just got... Oh, that was Pluto. It probably just got launched out about the speed of light or something. So I think what's going on here is... even at the speed of 32 seconds per second, it is ejecting things out of our solar system at such high speeds that we are literally breaking the physics simulation in the game. Or I just have the speed set too high. Yeah, it does not seem to actually want to process physics right now. The game looks like it just completely locked up. Very odd. Okay, let's go ahead and try a different simulation. This time with a black hole of, let's say, 100 masses of the sun. And there it goes. That went pretty quick. Where it went. There it is. Oh, I guess it didn't really go quick. And let's just go ahead and play and just see what happens. Whoa, look at that. Okay, that wasn't good for the Milky Way. And the simulation kept up, so that looks beautiful. You can see all the rocks just scattering out everywhere. But it looks like we have Venus orbiting around a black hole that is 100 masses as the Sun. I think a lot of these will actually maintain an orbit that will just be extremely eccentric. They might be at the escape velocity. Let's find out. The Sun is not looking too great over there. Oh, there's Mars and Earth and all the other terrestrial worlds. How's Earth doing? It's a bit of a snowball. Negative 141 degrees Celsius. Yeah, Earth didn't fare well from that. I don't think anything fared well from that. But it looks like we have Venus just hanging out around this black hole. Anyways, if you guys liked the video, please leave it a like. And if you want to see more videos like this, please do subscribe. It really does help. And I will see you guys in the next one.